So this is one of the very few rare times I disagree with how high Alabama is ranked. I would rank them lower than 12. I hope all of you are having a great and fantastic Monday. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. Not gonna lie to you boys and girls, this is starting to become one of my favorite videos of the week. I just really enjoy taking a look at these rankings, giving y'all my raw reaction, and I think you guys enjoy it as well. And of course, after you get my live reaction to these new AP poll rankings, I'm going to give you my new and improved top 10 teams after week 4. And let's just say, I think it's going to catch a lot of you off guard because in my rankings at least, there's a lot of movement. So yeah, premise of this video is relatively simple. Without further ado, let's pull out these rankings. Well, first things first, I forgot to say this. What do I think is going to happen before I even take a look at these? I'm trying to think here. Of course, Ohio State beat Notre Dame, so, and I'm probably going to go on a rant and a tangent. I assume, I don't think this is right, but I assume Notre Dame will fall in these rankings, which doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever, because you mean to tell me a couple inches is the deciding factor on whether or not you're going to up-rank Notre Dame or de-rank Notre Dame? Come on, man, get out of here. That's stupid, it's blasphemous, and it doesn't make any sense. And on the contrary, I can almost assume that Ohio State is going to go up in these rankings as well. So that's what we're going to be paying attention to as well. And also, I'm trying to think, okay, Ole Miss lost to Alabama. They're going to drop. And who else lost? Oregon State lost Washington State. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm sure in the top 25, we'll see some new faces. And yeah, let's just check it out. Okay, 25 through 21. Looks like we got some new faces. I don't think Kansas, they wasn't ranked last week, were they? I don't think they were. They're new. And also, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Fresno State is new. 23 through 21. Take a look at this. We got not one, not two, but 3 SEC teams. And more importantly, those 3 SEC teams are in the SEC East. Mizzou, what about that? And oh yeah, by the way, I saw somebody comment, yo, Matt, when are you going to show Missouri some love? Here you go. Missouri's over exceeding expectations, and I told people before the season even started, keep your eye on this Missouri team. I think they're going to be better than what a lot of people originally thought they were going to be. Because I'm going to remind some of y'all, this Missouri team gave Georgia arguably their toughest game all year last year. Am I trying to sit up here and say Missouri's going to do the same thing this year against Georgia? No, but what I am saying is they're going to go probably something like 8-4, 9-3, maybe. Just keep your eyes on them. Florida, they played a cupcake. Same thing for Tennessee. Moving ahead to 20 through 16. Hey, here we go. 20. So 23, 22, 21, and 20. You got 4 SEC teams. Ole Miss, they dropped down to 20. I'm okay with that. I wouldn't take them out of the top 25 for losing Alabama. Alabama's a pretty good team. 19, Oregon State, they lost. They dropped okay. Miami, 18. Okay, Duke, you got Duke at 17. What about that? I believe Duke plays Notre Dame this weekend. And I also believe, if I'm not mistaken, that College Game Day is going to be at that Notre Dame game as well. That's going to be good. And then we got my biggest sleeper. I've called them the past 2 weeks to pull the upsets, and they did. Washington State. Keep your eyes out for them. They are an offensive team, and maybe this is just a splash in the pan, but I've called them back-to-back weeks for an upset. I called them to upset Wisconsin, and I called them to upset Oregon State. Love this Washington State team. They can put up 40 on anybody. They look really good. Did want to show some love to them because nobody shows them love. Not too sure why. 15 through 11 here. Okay, we got North Carolina, Oklahoma. I believe last week Oklahoma was at like 16. Oklahoma, they're cracking the top 15. That's going to be good because they played Texas in a couple of weeks. Then we got LSU. The Tigers at 13. Then we got Alabama going up to 12. I think, yeah. Wasn't Alabama at 13? I think so. And we got Notre Dame at 11. Okay, so there we go. Notre Dame falls from 9 to 11. I guess that ain't too bad. Not too bad at all, and that's an interesting conversation. Do you think Notre Dame's better than Alabama? I'll give you my thoughts on that in just a second. Let's get into the top 10, though. At number 10, we got Utah, Oregon, USC. Wow, USC at number 8. I personally have USC higher. I'll show you where I got them. Washington at 7. Okay, 10 through 6 stayed the same, didn't it? The only thing that happened was Notre Dame fell out. And then, obviously, Ohio State went up. They're somewhere in the top 5 now. Getting into the top 5, though, starting things out hot. And you like these hot. We got the cinnamon rolls. At number 4, we got the Little Broke, Ohio State. 3, we got Texas. 2, we got Michigan. And then number 1, we got Georgia. I'm trying to think, guys. I really don't have too many problems or issues with the top 10. Personally, I still have Notre Dame in the top 10, and I also have USC way higher. I'm just really high on this USC team because I don't know if anybody can stop their offense. I think their offense is better than last year, and I also think their defense hasn't improved a lot, but it's improved slightly since last year. And I know a lot of people are going to bring up, well, Matt, did you watch that game? They barely beat Arizona State 42-28. And yes, as a matter of fact, I did watch that game. I was tweeting about it, how I stayed up till 1:30 a.m. to watch it. But I'm not really concerned about USC giving up 28 points to Arizona State. I'm really not. And the last thing I'm going to say about this before we get into my rankings, I personally, Alabama's at 12 on here. I would flip-flop them and LSU. I would put LSU at number 12 because I think LSU is a better team than Alabama right now, and I'd put Alabama at number 13. I like Notre Dame at number 11. I think they're better than Alabama, and same thing for LSU. So this is one of the very few rare times I disagree with how high Alabama is ranked. I would rank them lower than 12. I just flip-flop them and LSU. Not too big of a deal. But with that being said, let me show you my top 10, and I do apologize because I tweeted this out earlier today, and I had it up for a couple hours, and I noticed, because I tweeted it, I didn't go on Twitter, then I got back on Twitter, and everybody's like, yo, Matt, where's Texas? And I apologize. I completely forgot about Texas when doing my top 10. I don't know how I forgot about him, but I forgot about him. I had to delete that tweet, and I just tweeted out a new tweet. I'll show you right here. Even in the new tweet, I'm just having a bad day, I guess, because I put in parentheses, had to redo. Forget about Texas. I can't even type right. So the first one, I forgot Texas, and the second one, I had a misspelling in it. And by that point in time, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just leaving this one up. I'm not tweeting out my top 10 for a third straight time. It's a typo, whatever. We'll live with it. Anyways, getting back on track here and locking in, here's 10 through 6 for me. At number 10, I got Washington. I like the Huskies. They look great, but they haven't played nobody. I don't know how good they are. It's hard for me to really congratulate a team and hype them up when you haven't played a top 25 team or a real solid opponent. I think they're good, but I just don't know how good, if that makes sense. At number 9, I got Notre Dame. Why should I derank Notre Dame for losing a game by a couple inches? I just don't understand that thinking. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I think Notre Dame's a really solid team, and this is rare for me. A lot of you know I have a golden rule. Notre Dame should never be ranked inside the top 10, ever, ever, ever. They should be banned from the top 10. However, though, that golden rule might have to be thrown out of the window moving forward because this Notre Dame team, they look legit. And when I say legit, I mean like a legit contender. They look like they can play with your Alabamas, your Georgias, your Michigans, USC's, Texases of the world. Whereas the past 10 years, no, they just didn't have the talent to compete. This year and maybe moving forward, they probably do. I don't know. Guess what? To wait and see. At number 8, I got Oregon and Bo Nix. Sheesh, man. Do I need to say anything? They look great. You beat the crap out of Colorado. Yeah, Colorado's overrated, but you still beat the crap out of them. Gotta give them some credit. Love them. At number 7, I got the Penn State and Nittany Lions. Sheesh, man. I don't know if some of y'all watched that game. You probably shouldn't have because you would have wasted your time. But that Penn State, it was a combination of two things. Number 1, Iowa's offense is the worst in the world. And number 2, Penn State has a good defense. Penn State allowed only 76 total yards in a Division I Power 5 college football game. 76 total yards. Can't make that crap up. Penn State looks good. I can't wait to see them play either Michigan or Ohio State. Above Penn State at number 6, I got the Cinnamon Rolls. And some people are going to say, well, Matt, they just beat Clemson at Clemson. And yeah, but is Clemson a great team? Is Clemson a really good team? Probably not. Duke beat the same Clemson team by 21 points, and Duke didn't even play that great in the game. I'll put it this way. Florida State was extremely fortunate to walk out of that game with a win. I'm not sold on Florida State. I need to see more consistency out of them. I think they're a good team, and I think 6, it's a good spot, at least for me. At number 5, I got the little bro, Ohio State. Now, if you've been keeping up with my rankings on Twitter, I post these on Twitter, so if you ever want to see my rankings before I show them on YouTube, follow my Twitter, it's MattBGreatYT. Last week, I had a little bro State at number 3. And a lot of people on Twitter were like, Matt, what in the crap happened? Last week, Ohio State was 3. We beat a top 10 team on the road, and we dropped 2 spots. Hey, I get it. I'd be confused too, but here's your context. The problem with this Ohio State-Notre Dame game in any game is this is how you viewed it. You viewed it as number 6, Ohio State was playing number 9, Notre Dame. Whereas I viewed it as, and it took me a while to look at college football this way, I just viewed it as Ohio State was playing Notre Dame. I didn't look at it as a top 10 matchup. I didn't look at the game and view the game as number 6 was playing number 9. I viewed it as, hey, it's early in the season, and Ohio State or Notre Dame, neither one of them have earned their top 10 ranking. We only have Ohio State at 6 and Notre Dame at 9 because of preseason rankings. And I'm in favor of this. We shouldn't even have rankings until the college football playoff does theirs on, week 8 or week 9? Because we don't know before a season how good these teams actually are. Getting back to my point here, my conclusion from that game was I didn't think Notre Dame was a great team, and I didn't think Ohio State was a great team. I thought they were 2 solid good teams going at it, but that's all there was to it. Therefore, I don't view it as, Ohio State beat the number 19, so I automatically got to give them an up rank in my new rankings. And as you can tell, since I deranked Ohio State by 2 spots, I'm actually lower on Ohio State after this game than I was before the game. I'm worried about this Ohio State team. Their defense in the second half, it looked like that soft defense we saw against Michigan and Georgia last year. I'm worried because they don't have an exceptional, talented quarterback like a CJ Stroud. They got a good quarterback in Kyle McCord, but that's all he is. He's good, not great. I have a lot of questions about Ohio State, and at this point in time, they're not ready to beat Michigan. You won the game, congratulations, but I'm dropping you to number 5. And you know how this goes. Every team I have ranked ahead of Ohio State, that means I think, and I would pick them to win if they play head-to-head tomorrow. We'll leave it at that. At number 4, I got the Longhorns, Texas, and at number 3, shocker. This is probably the most controversial one on my list. I got USC. Oh, man, I already know all the Timothys are running to the comment section. Matt, USC just struggled Arizona State. Arizona State's 1-3. How is USC at number 3? Blah, blah, blah. Shut up, nerd. Listen up. You know why I got USC at number 3? Because I believe if USC played Ohio State tomorrow, USC is going to beat them. And same thing for Texas, Florida State, Penn State, all the teams that got ranked behind them. I'd have USC winning that game. And you know why I have USC at number 3? Let's make a long story short here. Because they got Caleb freaking Williams and Lincoln Riley. And also the defense, the front 7, the secondary is still wishy-washy. But the front 7 for USC, immaculate. They're really good. And everybody's going to say, well, Matt, Arizona State put up 28 points. Dude, if you watch that game, you know what I'm about to say. Arizona State had like 14 trick plays in that game. They pulled out every trick in the bag just to get that 28 points. I'm not trying to sit up here and convince you USC has a good defense because they don't. Their defense is below average. And honestly, that is probably sugarcoating it. But here's the thing. Their defense this year is better than last year. And that's scary because you don't need a good defense if you're USC. You just need to hold teams to under 40 points and you're going to win every single game. They still are on the, I guess you'd say, softish side, similar to Ohio State, but they have improved. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I'm just sold on the offense so much. Last year, I thought the offense was really good. They didn't really scare me. Although they were really good, they didn't scare me. This year, that offense scares me. They got a wide receiver who's arguably right now a top 15 wide receiver in the country that goes by the name of Zach Branch, and they also got the Rice dude. And here was the determining factor for me putting USC at number 3. I know what I'm going to get out of USC. I don't know what I'm going to get out of Texas week in and week out. I don't know what I'm going to get out of Ohio State week in and week out. And same thing for Florida State. I don't know. At least with USC, I know you can mark down in the scorebook, whatever, 40-plus points on offense. I like them. That's all there is to it. At number 2, I got me, Shotgun. And number 1, you know who it is, Georgia. That is my personal top 10. I've also had a lot of people saying, yo, Matt, what about Alabama? When are we going to get back in the top 10? Listen up, buddy. Alabama ain't going to be in the top 10 anytime soon. You play Mississippi State next week. I don't care how bad you beat Mississippi State. I'm not putting you in the top 10. And then the week after, you play A&M. That's going to be an important game for me. If Alabama goes out there and dominates, maybe, I don't think it'll happen, but if Alabama dominates A&M, I will consider putting Alabama in the top 10. No promises, just consideration. I'm just going to tell you this, though. Alabama, they have a lot of stuff to work on, and currently they're not a top 10 team, and it's not even close. Alabama did look better against Ole Miss, but they didn't wow me against Ole Miss. They just took care. Now, Alabama looked better against Ole Miss, and don't discredit that win, but I'm not on the hype train. I need to see more consistent play out of Alabama. They're still on the wishy-washy side. I would love to sit up here and talk about this some more, but I'll leave it at that for now. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts down below. But